Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and good day to each and everyone. So for today's videos, we will continue our discussion for our previous discussion, no, for our previous videos posted in our Eid Module class. Okay, so for today's videos, once again, I just have to remind you that before you start to um, listen to these videos or watching these videos, kindly print your own copy of our manuals, no, or our instructional materials for this discussion, so that you have your own guide, no, sa dinidiscuss natin in here. Okay, and at the same time, kindly use your own headphones to clearly understand what we have um, saying here. Okay, so yun. Okay, so proceed tayo, no. Our topic for today is for this subject, ES2, is vector integral calculus. Okay, so well, basically, no, from our previous math, no, if I'm not mistaken, calculus, no, we have already met, no, these kinds of topics, no, na integral, but not the vector integral calculus. Okay, so it means that what we have tackled on our previous math is only the basic ideas about integration. Okay, so in here, okay, since we are talking about, no, on our higher mathematics, we are talking about an application of different properties or different uh, concept that we have already learned from our previous math. Now our focus for this one is to apply it. Okay, in this case, ang focus natin dito is to apply the line integral, okay, on some path. Okay, okay, so yun. So okay, so we have here line integral, no. So this line integral actually is already discussed on our previous math. Okay, so when you say line integral, okay, it is actually the integral of some function as a function of x. Okay, as a function of x through a line or through an axis x. Okay, so it means that if you have a given function that has a domain of x, okay, so you can integrate that function. If that function is not uniform, you can integrate that one um, as a function of x or through x-axis by using this line integral. Okay, so in this case, we are using this line integral concept to integrate some function with respect to some path, no. Instead na ang gagamitin natin is yung access to integrate some function. In this topic, we are using some another integration factor that would characterize or that would develop our concept in this integration. Okay? Okay. So yun. So, pakibasa na lang to siya. Now, um, so once again, no, in these topics, instead na yung function natin is integrate natin along x-axis, in this topic, we are actually integrating some function with respect to a curve, okay? Or yung tinatawag nating path, okay? So, kung sa previous na mathematics natin is straight line lang yung kuan natin, straight line lang yung kuan natin, axis natin na ini-integrate natin yung isang function. Dito, ang ginagamit natin na pang-integrate, no? Okay? Or pang path na ginagamit natin pang-integrate sa isang function is a curve. Okay? So that's why in here kakailanganin natin yung for example here, no, kung meron tayong curve na r of t, we have to represent that r of t as a function of x, y, and z, no. So bakit ito siya x, y, and z as a function of t? It is because okay, most of the curve that we are considering here is actually three dimensions, no? Meron tayong for x-axis, meron tayong y-axis, and meron tayong z-axis. Okay? So kung meron tayong curve at tapos meron tayong given na function, we have to integrate that function at with respect to that curve. Okay? So ito yung gagamitin nating curve. Okay? So r of t as a function of x of t, y of t, and z of t. Okay? So yun. Where t is from A to B. Okay? So yun. Okay, so as you can see here, meron tayong graph here, no? Ito yung tinatawag ko na graph or curve na kailangan nating i-integrate yung function natin, given function natin with respect to this curve. Okay? So yun. And pakibasa na lang to siya. Okay? So you will understand here that for us to be able to integrate some function, okay, for us to be able to integrate some function, we have to represent that curve with respect to function, or we have to represent that curve as a function of x, y, and z, and at the same time that x, y, and z as a function of t. Okay, time. Okay, so yun yung tinatawag nating parametric equation. So from this previous equation. Okay, so now, okay, so definition and evaluation of line integral. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, yung kanina na line integral natin is only as a function of f of x, no? Pero dito sa line integral natin, meron tayong function f of r, integrate natin yun siya with respect to some parametric equation na dr. Okay, so as you can see here, f of r is equals to f of r, and that r is a function of t. That's why here ang nangyari is f of r of t, dot r prime of t. Why? Because yung dr dito is pinalitan natin ng dt. Okay? So, itong r prime of t, ibig sabihin yan, dr over dt. Okay? So, kung papalitan natin yun siya ng dr over dt, okay? So, makakancel yung dt. So, babalik tayo rito. So, that's why in here. Now, bakit natin to ginawa? It's because we have to integrate this function with respect to time, because our curve is as a function of time or as a function of t. Okay? Not time pala, no? T kasi parametric yan siya. Okay? So, yun ibig sabihin ng equation na to. Now, at the same time here, no? Why is that meron tayong dot dito, no? Kasi yung f of r is a vector, no? Kasi we are actually talking about here a three-dimensional force or three-dimensional vector, and at the same time yung curve natin is also a three-dimensional, so that's why they are all vector. Okay? So meron silang direction. So from our previous topic, no? Kung meron tayong dalawang vectors, then kukunin natin yung effect nilang dalawa. Okay? We have to use dot product. Okay? So that's why here meron tayong dot product. Okay? So these are just some function. These are just some characteristic of line integral. Okay? So pakibasa lang. And at the same time this one also. Okay, so dito tayo sa example, evaluation of line integral in the plane. So kung meron tayong function of f of r as a function of y, x, y, and that x, y is also as a function of t, which is we can say that x of t is equals to cosine of t, y of t is sine of t. Okay, bakit sine of t and cosine of t yan? It's kasi ang curve natin is circular, no? Helix. So kung makikita, ito pala, no? Iba yan. Kung titingnan natin yun siya sa previous mathematics natin, kung kukunin natin yung equation niya, this is as a function of cosine and sine. Okay? So yun. So sabi dito, find the value of line integral where f of r is negative y and negative xy, and c is the circular arc, no? Circular arc from A to B. So nandito yun siya, from A to B. Okay? So Okay, so solution, we may represent C by r of t, cosine of t, sine of t, and cosine, since we are talking about here a three-dimensional. Okay, by the way, yung ij dyan na nakikita nyo, this, just like what we have represented here, yung ijk dito, okay, this is just a designation of a vector direction of some function with respect to three axis, no, yung x, y, and z. Okay? So tinatawag yan siyang vector direction, okay? Or uh, unit vector, okay? So yan. So we use that to represent the direction of some vectors with respect to three-dimensional axis, okay? So yun. We may represent C by r of t, cosine of t, sine of t, cosine of t I plus sine of t j, where t is from 0 to pi over 2. Bakit from 0 to pi over 2? It's because yung kuan natin dito, yung graph natin is from 0 to pi over 2 kasi isang kuan lang yun siya, isang alternation. Okay? So hindi siya complete cycle. Okay? Ay hindi. Yung alternation niya is half, no? So that's why pi over 2 lang. Kung kuan lang yun siya, okay? Kung nagkataong ito siya, nag-continuous dito, somewhat like dito, so pi na yun siya. Pero but since meron tayong isang half, 1/4 of one cycle lang, so ang kwan lang natin is pi over 2. Okay, so that's why in here, sinabi niya na ang t natin is from 0 to pi over 2. Okay, so yun. So x of t natin is cosine of t and y of t natin is sine of t. Now, okay, so substituting the values for f of r, where r is as a function of t also, substituting the value. So we have here negative cosine t, negative sine t, negative cosine t sine t, or negative sine t I plus minus negative cosine t sine t j. Okay? So, and at the same time, to use this equation here, yung integration dito, to use this integration here, we have to take the derivatives of r. Okay? So where r is equal to this one, itong nasa loob dito. So kung i-derive natin yun siya, the result is negative sine t and cosine t, or negative sine t cosine t. Okay? So yan yung derivation niya. So why, again, bakit natin siya dinerive? It's because gagamitin natin itong r prime of t to use the integration na formula natin kanina. Okay? So yun. So substituting the value, f of r is given. Ito yan siya. Tapos that dr, yung dr natin is yun yung r prime of t. So ito yan siya. So, evaluating this one from 0 to pi over 2, as I have said kanina, so the result is this one, okay? So, kung mapapansin nyo, itong dalawang vector na to rito at saka ito, okay, gagamitan natin yun siya ng dot product to find or to have this final answer here, okay? So, paki-refer na lang yung dot product doon sa previous topics natin, okay? Then after that, evaluating that result here, as evaluating integral of this result here as a function of t. So we find this u here. Okay, so we have to represent this t as a function of u. Then substituting the value, so we have here 0, we have here pi over 4 minus 0, or 1/3, or approximately equal to 0.4521. This would be the final answers of our integration. Okay. So, question. So, sir, bakit sir mas mahirap to siya compared doon sa um, uh, integration or definite integrals natin? It's because yung sa definite integrals natin na na-mate nyo sa previous mathematics ninyo sa calculus, it is just a function of x-axis, no? So, it means that you are about to integrate some function with respect to only at x-axis. In here, you have to integrate some function with respect to some curve in three-dimensional curve. Okay? So, yan. So, yun yung kahirapan niya. But anyway, kung marunong ka mag-integral, no harsh to solve these kinds of problems. Okay? So yun. So we have here example number 2, same process lang to siya. Ang pinagkaiba nga lang is ito siya naging 3 dimension. So as you can see here, okay, kung mapapansin natin dito, x, y, z na, no? Kasi bakit? Naging 3 dimension na yung ating curve. Okay, 3 dimension na siya. So we have here x, z, x, y na yung kuha natin. F of r natin. Okay? So dito, x, y lang, it's because yung curve natin is lies only on the x, y plane. Dito is nandun na siya sa 3-dimensional. Okay? So same process pa rin. So you can use this method here to find the integration of this function with respect to this f of r or curve or this r of t. So same process, so you will find the final answer. Okay, so these are just in here, these are just the properties of integrating some function. Okay, so you may just refer it. Okay, so parehas lang to actually sa properties ng previous mathematics natin. Okay, so pakibasa na rin din itong theorem 1. Okay, theorem 1 is a direction perceiving parametric transformation. Okay, so ito siya, no, it talks about why we are representing some function or some curve with respect to t. Okay, it's because we have to integrate that function, we have to integrate that function as a function of t to fully or to successively integrating some function with respect to t. Okay, so that's why we are using parametric equation. Okay, so we have here example number 3. So work done equals gain kinetic energy. So pakibasa na lang din, parehas lang din to sa kanina, no? Kung meron tayong f and dr, yung dr natin is also a function of t kasi meron tayong v of t. Yung f naman natin, which is force, is also as a function of t kasi we are moving some function or we are moving with respect to time. Okay, so yun yung ibig sabihin nito. Okay, so same process pa rin. We have to use equation um, we have to use equation number 3 ito. We have to use equation number 3 and we have to represent r of t as a function of time. Then after that, evaluate this integral and you will find the final answer. Okay, so if you have any question regarding on this one, you may just have to reach me on our group chat or on our Edmodo class. So inshallah, we will entertain it. So that's all. Thank you for this video tutorial.